How did Blackpink become one of the biggest K-pop groups of all time? Because let me tell you something. But Blackpink doesn't have nor the best vocals, nor the best choreographies, nor the most comebacks. So how did they become one of the biggest K-pop groups? Let me start with this. The marketing strategy that made Blackpink great. First of all, we got 4 different members. It sounds vague, but it was one of the keys that made Blackpink great. Having 4 absolutely different members was crucial. In personalities, in voice, in performances, in everything. 4 absolutely different members made Blackpink great. Because first, personalities, individuality, all that stuff. You cannot tell me that they are all different. Jennie from Lisa, Lisa from Jisoo, Jisoo from Rosie, and all the way around into that equation. They are all very different, and since day one, they got different personalities, they got different standards, different everything, and they don't look alike. Blackpink understood this task of don't have members that look alike. And the other part, the voices. Voices are something underestimated. Yeah, I'm saying underestimated. I'm not talking about how good you sing, how good you rap. No. I'm talking about how your voice sounds. The voice, the pitch, how it sounds is very important. It's crucial for K-pop groups in order to make the fan learn how to differentiate the members in songs. Blackpink, since day one, you can go listen to any old Blackpink song, Whistle, Boombayah, Playing with Fire, anyone. Any song. And you'll see, and you immediately recognize which voice is the one singing. You don't need to see the MV. And when you became a Blackpink fan, probably when 3 times you look at an MV, you already knew who was singing. Maybe you didn't even knew the members. Yeah, but you knew already who was singing. It was a clear distinction between the members' voice. And also from the industry. Because even back in 2016, and I think also currently to now, there are no one that sings like Jisoo is the main vocal. Jisoo is the main vocal with Rosie. They don't have anyone who sings like them. Jennie and Lisa. Tell me someone who raps like them. There is no one who can do their style, do their type of voice, do what they do. That was the other key. Because for the casual listener, it's easier to engage if you recognize the member. I'm giving you now my example. Do you know how much time I took in order to finally recognize Twice voices? 2 years. 2 years of constant listening to them, I finally was able to recognize their voices. Because they are all more on the same kind of a scale of voice range, of how they talk. It was hard for me in the early years of Twice. Now it's easy, I could recognize just the voice. I don't even have to listen to all 9. One voice. You can put me one pitch and I'll immediately know it. But it was hard. What Blackpink did, with 3 times you looked at the MV, you already knew who was who. That was one of the crucial parts of Blackpink's success. Next, we get into the songs. There are 3 phases of Blackpink's releases. The first one, dual releases. Whistle, Boombayah, 2 songs, absolutely different. Great debut songs, a dual release, and the MVs are absolutely different. Take a look at Whistle MV, you see more of a traditional type of MV, and then take a look at Boombayah, you see a Blackpink MV. That's what I like to call it, because Blackpink has this type of MV that they do. But every single of the MVs, except maybe for Stay and Whistle, show the member in a different stage, in a different type, and they do different stuff. The camera angles are very different. You could take a look at how the camera angles work. With Blackpink, all the camera moves. It's very interesting because they have all of that in every single MV. It's not one thing of one special MV. No, all Blackpink MVs have some camera movement that makes it look like a Blackpink song. And of course, black and pink The pink, the BLACKPINK color, it's one of the most recognizable things you can ever see. Whistle, a great song, more calm, more relaxed than Boombayah. But Boombayah started this small girl crush concept that would later evolve for Gen 4. Boombayah was that. It was the first hint of girl crush concept. Now we get to Playing with Fire and Stay. Stay, beautiful ballad, calm, more traditional R&B, more relaxed. But then we got Playing with Fire and everything began changing, more like Boombayah, more color, more moves, more choreographies, more movements, more everything. These two different types of songs were part of BLACKPINK. And what BLACKPINK did was teach you every single stage they could go. Boombayah, Whistle, Stay, Playing with Fire, those four songs are very different and within 2 months of release. 2 months of release. Yeah, they are all singles, but 2 months of release so you could get used to it pretty quickly. Now we start with the phase 2, Subtle Scarcity. 6 months passed for the next BLACKPINK song, As If You Lost. And let me tell you something, scarcity only works if there's a demand for it. With the first 3 releases of BLACKPINK, people were already wanting more. Because BLACKPINK was something different. They were something that nobody else could be. None of their songs were like everyone else was doing on 2016, 2017. So people wanted more BLACKPINK. And As If You Lost, you see the MV, you see that middle point is the middle phase, the phase 2 of BLACKPINK. As If You Lost already gave us a hint to where was going to head BLACKPINK, as it was a prelude for the big boom in BLACKPINK's career, the global dominance with DDU-DU. So the phase 3 comes with DDU-DU. But let me tell you something. 11 months, 24 days, 358 days passed between As If You Lost and DDU-DU. Almost 1 year. People were craving for BLACKPINK because they were different. They were something that nobody could replicate. BLACKPINK was BLACKPINK. There was no one who could rivalize with them in music terms because they were different. And there was a big expectative for the next BLACKPINK release, and DDU-DU overpassed that expectative by far. It was way better than what people were expecting. DDU-DU showed us the mature version of BLACKPINK. They showed us in their previous years more of this young group, refreshing, energetic type of group, type of songs. But then with DDU-DU, they showed us the complete opposite. They showed us a mature BLACKPINK, the mature version. The concept, how everything worked for BLACKPINK in DDU-DU was something like I'm the boss. That was kind of how it worked by that moment on their career, and it would set the standard for Gen 4. Scarcity at its peak. There are some more scarcity fakes, but Kill This Love and then How You Like That, almost more than 10 months between releases, yeah. But I think the most important part was covered with these 3 phases, because from then on, everything is more or less the same strategy, is more standard. You see, DDU-DU was a consolidation, and then they kept going with How You Like That, Ice Cream, Lovesick Girls. They kept going with that type of vibe, with that strategy, that marketing strategy. So there's no need to explore further than DDU-DU. Why does that strategy doesn't work anymore? Listen, BLACKPINK was alone. BLACKPINK was the only K-pop group that did that. Because you see, late Gen 3 was still trying to fit the mold, the traditional mold that SNSD Girl Generation did. You see the groups that debuted in Gen 3, late Gen 3, you see how everyone was trying to be the next Girl Generation, and Twice did it. But they were all competing for that spot. What BLACKPINK did was the complete opposite. Instead of a ton of members, 9, 12, 7, they got 4. That you could differentiate every single one. Instead of going the cute, the royal, the fancy concepts, they were for something more casual, more dark. The girl crush concept was perfection and born with BLACKPINK. And the girl crush concept dominated for Gen because BLACKPINK did it. And by late Gen 3, early Gen 4, people, the fan, the listener was already tired of the traditional girl. That is something that happens, and then you get this rebellion group that is BLACKPINK, very different, very chaotic. Instead of the traditional groups, you immediately listen to BLACKPINK. And they had songs, but they don't have a ton of songs. You would not get tired of listening to BLACKPINK. Every single song mattered for BLACKPINK. Every single release mattered. BLACKPINK knew, and the company knew, they were alone. They were in their own lane. Everybody was trying to be something. BLACKPINK did the complete opposite, and they were alone on that. That's the reason why they could spend 1 year without releases. And this is something that happened in Gen 4 and will happen in Gen 5. Everybody in Gen 4 was tired of the groups that Gen 3 made, all this cute royal concept of the traditional girl group. BLACKPINK changed it because everybody was tired of them. Then we got to Gen 4 and everybody was tired of the girl crush and the new concept came, but that's topic for another video. So BLACKPINK made this first statement. They made the change to Gen 4, the new concept that would arrive. The same as New Jeans did with Gen 5. New Jeans is the same example as BLACKPINK, but in a further gen. People was tired of the Gen 4 concept, of the girl crush, empowerment, all this concept. Then New Jeans came with something refreshing, once again young, the G2K. It was different. And also have in mind, YG always experiment things with their groups. Big Bang, Icon, Winner, 21, Acmo, they all have experimented in various ways, in different ways. They all did something different than the regular standard K-pop group did. YG always do crazy stuff. They always like to experiment. And now, clear example. If you're not understanding why this strategy doesn't work anymore, it's because there are more competition. There are more K-pop groups. There are more ways to become viral. Clear example, BABYMONSTER. Imagine if BABYMONSTER didn't release a song for 1 year. Just like DDU-DU. 1 whole year of no BABYMONSTER. What would happen to them? They would be forgotten. Because now, if you're not listening to BABYMONSTER, you can listen to LE SSERAFIM. You can listen to IVY, to aespa, to Elite, to Meow, to, I don't know, All Day Project, even though it's a mixed group. Which other group? To Twice, to BBs, to every single K-pop group that there are. There are more ways to become more known, to become viral, to gather more fans. It became even more global than what BLACKPINK had. So now, if you are a BABYMONSTER and you don't release a song for 1 year, you will only be forgotten, because there will always be another one. There is LE SSERAFIM, NMIX, IVY, all those other groups. There is no reason to do it again. You'll only be forgotten. Currently, everybody's trying to fill the spot that New Jeans left. Everybody's trying to fill that spot, so everybody does song after song, release after release, episode, albums, mini albums. Well, actually, nobody releases full albums right now, but you understand what I'm saying. Everybody's more active than ever. More groups, even small groups, big groups. Everyone is trying to fill that spot that New Jeans left. So if you stop releasing songs for a year, you just bury yourself. So, by the end of this video, BLACKPINK not only had the talent and the resources, they got the most rare thing in K-pop. Perfect timing. That perfect timing made BLACKPINK one of the biggest K-pop groups that have ever existed. If you want to learn more about how K-pop works, make sure to like and follow me for more content like this. I'll see you on the next video.